This is a video tutorial for Curtin, the proteomic data analysis tool brought to you by researchers from the MRC Protein Phosphorylation and Ubiquitination Unit at the University of Dundee. This project is supported by the Aligning Science Across Parkinson's Research Network. Hello again, Curtin users, and welcome to this tutorial, which will show you how to customize and export plots in Curtin. So straight after either submitting your own data or clicking on a link, when you scroll down, the first plot you will see is the volcano plot, which will highlight those proteins with the greatest magnitude of change between your two conditions and the greatest significance. The data points are colour-coded according to the thresholds for p-value and fold change they pass, and by default there are 4 colours, which are explained in the key below the plot. So you can change these colours by going to Volcano Plot Actions, Custom Legend Colour, and just manipulating each one individually. However, if you wanted to change the colour theme entirely, you could go to Plot and Customize Colour Palette and select a different one from this selection. These 4 at the bottom of the list are all colour blindness friendly palettes. So let's choose one of these. And then to reset the volcano plot colour, just check this box here, update colour palette, and now you see that the colours have changed. If having 4 colours on the plot is too much and you'd like to simplify the plot, you can just go to Set Background Data Points to Grey, Volcano Plot Actions, Redraw Plot, and this sets all the background data to grey. So you can change the marker size to make individual data points bigger or smaller here. So make them slightly smaller, say size 8. Redraw plot, you can see that alters the size. I'd next like to show you how to manipulate the significance and fold change cutoffs. So for example, if we wanted to make the significance more stringent, say p less than 0.001, I could change that here. And then redraw the plot, and now you see that the dashed line here showing where the p-value cutoff is has moved up. So now you can see that there's just one protein here that passes the threshold for both fold change and significance, ppm1h. If I manipulate the maximum y-axis to 6, say, then you can see now that the axis limit has altered and we can see this data point more clearly. So you're able to do this for the y-axis and for the x-axis here. If you'd like to then label a protein of interest, so say we want to label this protein ppm1h, just click on it, and then you'll see that some information appears about the protein below the volcano plot. So you can either click Annotate on Volcano Plot here, scroll back up and we'll see labels appeared, or alternatively, if you don't want to scroll down, you can also go to Session, Data Selection Management, Edit Selection, and you can uncheck or check to annotate on a volcano plot here as well. Now, the label is looking rather long, so I think the label column that's been selected by default has too many entries. So I think if we change this to gene and then go back to Session, Data Selection Management, Edit Selection, uncheck, and then let's go back and check again. Now you see that the label has been shortened to the gene name. If you wanted to label a group of proteins, you could use the box select function. So if I just go to box select here in the toolbar and then drag a box around a group of proteins, then you'll see that they've changed colour, they've been selected, and you can see in the key that it's appeared selected 7 genes. And I've just clicked on that, which has greyed them out, as you can see, but if I click it again, then they reappear. So if you wanted to label those, you could again go to Session, Data Selection Management, Edit Selection, and we'll just have to check all these boxes individually to label those proteins. So let's do that. and see what that looks like. So you can see a problem when you're labeling multiple proteins quite close together is that the labels tend to overlap. But we can do something about this. So if you go to Volcanoplot Actions and Annotation Text Editor, you can reduce the font size of your labels, but you can also alter the x-axis and y-axis offset. So by default it's set to -20, but you could change that and then maybe just have a play and try and rearrange all these labels so that they're not overlapping with each other. Okay, so now I'm going to clear the selections that we've made so far. Do it like this, and I'll set the data background to grey for this next bit. So I'll just show you how to search for an individual protein in the plot. So for example, let's search for LRRK2, click search, and you can see that it's appeared here in blue. You can also do a batch search to look for a group of proteins. So just go here to batch search, and then we've got some built-in categories and subcategories. So the main categories are enzyme, disease, pathway, and organelle. And then within each of these, we have a variety of different enzyme groups that you can look for. Diseases, of course, we have Parkinson's disease, but we have a number of others as well. For the pathways, we have many different signalling pathways to choose from. And then for organelles, we have cilia, endosomes, Golgi, lysosomes, mitochondrial nucleus, and ribosomes. So there's plenty here to get you started, but if you needed a different list, then you just need to give it a title, copy and paste your list of proteins in here, and save that, and then that will be saved in Curtin for you to use in future. For today, let's highlight lysosomal proteins, for example. So you can see once I've selected the subcategory, the actual list appears here. So it's quite long. So you can check this box, and then that would select only those proteins which are significant according to the cutoffs that you specified in the Volcanoplot settings. Or you can enable the search within that range. But I think I won't select either of these boxes. We'll just highlight everything. So I'll just click submit. And you can see that now all those proteins are highlighted in purple. So I think I showed you this before by accident, but I'll just show you again deliberately to reiterate it. So if you want to hide something temporarily, just click on the label on the key. So I've just clicked on lysosomal proteins, and you can see now that the label in the key has greyed out, and the proteins themselves have also gone back to grey. And then if you click again on the key, then they reappear. So this is quite a good way of temporarily hiding something without wanting to completely deselect it. So let's give our plot a title now. I think that's the final Volcanoplot customization I wanted to show you. So when you are completely happy with all your customizations, you can go to the toolbar at the top, and you see there's an icon with a camera that says download plot. So if you just click that, then it downloads your plot as a scalable vector graphic file, which is a good format because that allows you to make further edits in Illustrator. So moving on now to the bar charts and violin plots for individual proteins that Curtin produces. You can change the colour theme as before, and by going to plot, customize colour palette, and selecting a different one to the default. You could go for this one this time. Reset bar chart colour, update colour palette, and you can see the colours have changed. You can also change the order in which samples or conditions appear using plot, sample order, and visibility settings. So for example, right now I have a 4-hour time point followed by a 24-hour time point followed by a 4-hour time point. But if I maybe wanted to move the 4-hour time points together, I could select this to move the 24 time point down, and now when I click submit, you can see the order in which they appear has changed. So I think I've shown you everything there is to know about customizing and exporting plots in Curtin. So thank you very much for watching the tutorial. I hope you find it useful, and please look out for other videos in the series.